Okay. So we're preparing to live stream the meeting.
Is it the same YouTube link, really?
No, it's different. Okay, now we are on live now. I'll send you the link to everyone. And also, I'll mention that on the department's Facebook page. I had it just recently. Here it is. Okay. Okay. All right. So logo from. Okay. So you're live now, and Tony, could you record this as a backup?
Okay.
On iCloud. Thank you. All right. So let's begin. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. Despite the severe winter storm yesterday, that's what I heard, but it's sunny today, right? So welcome. And hopefully there will be many viewers on YouTube or people who are arriving a little bit late on the session. And so this is the fall 2020 Culmination project selected presentations. And we have 6 people lined up. And I think they're all here now. So it's very exciting. And before we start, let's hear a word or two from Professor John McCullough. Thank you.
Thanks, Shuri, for giving me a little time here. I just want to thank all of the students for being willing to share all of your great work here with everyone else in the department. I think it's really nice to, even though we can't get together the way we would in the sound lab, it's still really nice to be able to share the work that you guys have been doing so that your classmates can see, so that future students who are going to be working on their culmination projects can see some examples that they can look up to for what they can be working on once they're studying here. And the whole event today is really a testament to how hard all of you have been working throughout this, throughout your time really at City Tech, not even just through this semester, and also a testament to the adaptability that you've all shown and that the faculty and staff have shown to help make this possible remotely. So on behalf of the whole department and also just personally, I want to thank everyone for just doing such good work and participating today. And I'm going to hop off the call now. I will watch the rest on YouTube, and everyone please just enjoy the rest of your day here. And I know everyone watching at home is in for a treat to see some nice work here. All right, thanks guys. See you later.
Thank you, John. Okay, so this semester we had 3 sections of culmination project taught by Professors Adam Wilson, Tony Giovanetti, and myself, and many technical advisors were involved among both full-time and adjunct faculty and staff, and we have 16 students presented during the last 2 weeks, and we have 6 of them today. And so let's begin. We will start with Miss Kiara Wright from MTech.
Hello, my name is Kiara Wright, and today I will be presenting my culmination project called Grimize. It's a video game that I made with my group members, Edwin Bishop and William Kensworth, and my technical advisor is Christopher Chung. I'm going to share my screen now. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure, like, okay. So to start off, I will actually talk about the background of my project. So it takes place in a year 2010 where the government in Japan was working on specialized weapons to like for war to fight. And because while they were working on the experiment, there was a terrible explosion and the experiment went wrong. From that explosion, there was a toxic gas that spread within a 20-mile radius, and whoever was within that 20-mile radius outside got caught in it and they got infected. The only people who did not get infected were the people who were actually indoors with their windows closed and their doors closed. And the people who got infected, they turned into these monsters called grim creatures. And because of all of these problems, the government decided to put a curfew on the town. And they stated that if to be home by a specific time, like be home before it gets dark. And if you're not home before it gets dark, then that's when the grim creatures come out to trick the humans into helping them and they will kill them. So now for the main story. The main story is about a young boy named Kazuki Fukushima, whose birthday is actually coming up very soon. And he decides to wander around his home and he comes across a mysterious journal. This mysterious journal actually, like as he's looking through it, he notices that there are three missing pages. With these three missing pages, he's still wondering what's missing, what's the message that's supposed to be in this journal. So he decides to take it upon himself to look through these missing pages to find out the truth behind this book. So the technical aspects that I did for this project, like the programs I used and my part in this project was the 3D modeler. I also came up with the story of this project. So the programs that I actually used for this game is Unity, which is the program that I use to bring all of the materials, the characters that I build into one program where I program these characters to move around and interact with objects. 3D Blender is actually one of the programs that I use in order to actually make the character look a bit better rather than making the character look plain. It made the character have its final render, which I will show very soon. Autodesk Maya is more of a 3D program that I'm also more familiar with, and I use that one to make the certain of the household items. And Vroid is a brand new program that I decided to use to make the characters itself. So this is the playable character that the player will be playing as, and this is Kazuki. I decided to first draft out the character so I know how I want my character to look like. And what the three pictures that you see next to the actual images is is what I use the program Vroid to make the character. So I decided to show a front view, a side view, and a profile of the face so you can see him more clearly. This is the sister. So there's two different versions for the sister because there are two scenes. So this is the first version for the first scene and the second scene, which is the final one. The same thing for the younger brother. And this is the mother. So I noticed that I didn't save the character properly. So there's only one version for this character. And this is the father. The father actually has two different versions of himself. And during my first semester in this school, I actually took architecture before I took game design. And with that major, I learned how to draft out floor plans. So with the house, I made a floor plan of the house before actually modeling it. And so I can have an idea of what I want the house to look like, where certain things might be placed. And this is how the house will look with the second floor. And this is like the actual house without the texture. This is the house that I did, that I worked on, and it has more texture, more color to it. And these are actually some of the furnitures that I worked on. The computer took the most time, actually. Each piece was like an individual piece itself, and then I bring it all together. And since I made the characters, I decided to take upon myself to actually program the character to move. And so one side you will see the code, and the other side is more of like the animator controller, where it's like there's like lines everywhere. It's like it's more of the blueprint of where each side has like a different animation. So with the code, I will program the animator blueprint to have like if the player presses a specific button, the character should move in these different directions and play this particular animation. So in conclusion of this project, I personally am proud of what I did, and that the challenges that I faced while working on this project was actually more of the programming part, because I'm more of a 3D modeler than a coder. So because of the challenges that I faced with the program, I asked my technical advisor to give me a little feedback on what can I do better with the code, because the challenge that I had was I did the animation for the character, and I noticed when I press a specific button, the character is moving, but the character is not moving on the plane itself. It's just moving in place. So that was the problem I was having. I couldn't figure out how to get the character to move. So my technical advisor helped me figure it out, and it was just one line of code, apparently. Um, but with this project, I am putting it towards my portfolio, and I want to go and apply to gaming companies like Sony, or like even Disney, to like help out with modeling characters for like animated movies. Um, there's one more thing I would like to show, and that is the trailer of the game that I made. Okay. Okay.
Kiara. Well done, well done. Nice to see the finished product. Is it finished?
It's not fully
Okay.
finished, but that is most of it.
Yeah, good, good, good. Well, thank you for choosing Japan for a tragic accident, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I was wondering about the peaceful music, but then of course the tragedy followed. And what did you actually learn through doing this? You came up with the storyline first of all yourself.
Mhm.
How long ago was that?
Weird enough, I had this idea since high school because I was trying to make a manga book, actually. So I literally already had the script, I had the story already planned out. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea for a game too.
Oh, okay, okay. And how did you choose your collaborators for this project?
Well, I noticed that I won't be able to take on all of the modeling by myself. So I asked another one of my friends that I know who also has experience with 3D modeling to help out. Coding, I know somebody else, another friend of mine that does code. And with the extra help that I got was from like another friend, Rashid Weber, who also helped me look over my project and notice if like this is okay or if it's not. And I got like a little bit more help from like my technical advisor too.
Great. Well, let's open up the session for this is the question answer session right now. So if anybody has any input, suggestions, or questions, please feel free to do it now. Okay, I saw Sam moving forward. Maybe Sam has a question.
I just want to try this game because I love horror games. I love playing horror games. I want to try it. When will it come out? When will I play? I don't know. What's the plan? What's the goal? Is it playable that we gonna get to test it too? You know?
It's not at its full testing stage yet, but the main thing you can actually do is walk around the house for now. The coding aspect still needs a little bit more work before anything.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, Patrick, you said you sounds good. You probably have something to say about this too.
I guess it was nice to see because I remember you talking about it in our tech production class like last year. And it was kind of cool seeing your idea come to like life in this Unity project. So good
Mhm.
work.
Thank you.
Tony, I believe you saw her presentation when she was rehearsing like 3 weeks ago. Um, how was her presentation compared to like 3 weeks ago?
She's worked on it. I'd say 3 weeks ago it was sort of in the right spot for that time. It wasn't done, but it was close, and it's come along a lot. Um, yeah, I think it's going great, and yeah, I would encourage finishing it.
Yes.
Don't
Of
don't,
course.
don't stop just because just because
Mhm.
school is done. I'd say this is a valuable piece that you can use, to put in your resume and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Put it on your wheel, as it were. I'm not familiar with that program called Royd. Was it?
Leroy,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a program from like someone made it in Japan, I believe, and it's more the characters that you actually make in that program is more for VR chat, but I somehow found a way to actually get the character into Unity, but I had to do a lot of exporting. It's a different version for it to actually work properly in Unity.
Uh huh. Well, cool.
Very good. Any other comments, questions? If not, I know Kiara needs to take the final exam in Professor Wilson's class.
Thank
Good
you.
luck on that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If I can add one more thing,
Congratulations.
because I'm
Yes.
guessing you guys are wondering what actually happens at the end of the story. So the main purpose of that is because Kazuki found all the missing pages, he comes home to noticing like a strange sound coming from the kitchen. So that's when you walked into the kitchen, you see the dad hovering over his sister, and the dad was actually actually full grown creature, and he's been containing the urges to eat humans for a while. So he ends up asking his son if he wanted to join, and the son is freaking out, and he notices that like everyone else is dead and is like wondering what's going on. So the secret that the parents was hiding from Kazuki, and the reason why he's wearing that eye patch, is because he's half grown creature and he's half human. So one of his eyes is actually missing. That's why he has to wear a eye patch.
Okay, good to know. All right. Okay, are we supposed to know that much of the story already? And a
Yes.
spoiler?
Yes.
Well, you're very generous. Well, thank you, Kiara. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, and good luck on the final. Thank you.
Good luck.
All right. Okay. All right. Um, so the next presenter is one of her collaborators, William. Actually, you know what? I usually tell video students if they show any part of their films, keep it within 30 seconds or 1 minute. That's all right, Kiara. Now you know. It's always next semester. Just kidding. So
Right.
that's all right. So William, all right. So William Kanta was one of her collaborators on the same project. And let's hear from William. Well, let's welcome William.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Hey guys, my name is William Cantor, and I worked on my culmination project is with along with Kiara called Grimmed Eyes, and along with Edwin Bishop and my technical advisor Christopher Chung, and I will be discussing what was my role in the game, basically what I did for the game. Hang on, let me share my screen. Okay. Anyone see? Can anyone see it?
We see it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So again, for those of people who are just joining in, or like who, again, who hasn't heard about what the game is about, Grim's Eye is a 3D anime horror mystery game where a boy named Kazuki Fukushima has a birthday coming up very soon, and he found a mysterious journal in his house, and there are pages missing. His parents wouldn't tell him what were the missing pages or like what was in the journal, and he just keep avoiding him at all times. So basically, the goal of the game is to walk around Kazuki's house and find the missing pages in order to find out what his parents are hiding from him. So the technical aspects that I use for the game is Maya, where I created where the assets were made, and also some of the textures, and also used Unity because that's how the game was made. Okay, so my role for this project was that I was the environment design and basically creating the the textures for the game. At first, I didn't know like how it will look like in the game, so I asked Kiara to see any ideas. So again, when I first saw her idea for the game, since it's a horror and since it's a horror game, so might as well kind of make it like in a forest area where like there's some trees around and there's a picket fence. As you can see, right here I made like some trees. Made a tree right here that's like untextured on the left, and on the right that's textured. Same thing with the fence because for the fence I used also some textures there in Maya, and I was able to put them in Unity. And also here's the same thing for a TV and for a plant, which is and left side is untextured, the right is textured. Yeah, same thing for like all for the bathroom stuff, for the toilet and the sink. And right here is for the lamp right here. And the journal, which is the most important feature of the game because again, the pages are missing. You have to find out what the pages. Um, also what I did was also implement like all the assets into Unity, so I'll be able to move the objects around in the house. At first, like um, Kiara, like I asked Kiara, like, can you send me the house, like, so I can able to put the furniture in in the house, so it'll make it like a livable place. So she sent me the house, and I was able to put all the assets in all the different rooms, like where they're supposed to go to as well. Um, and here are some textures that I used. Some of these textures I just use like open source links to figure out which one can go best. And also I used went on the asset store and found some free textures that I can use too as well. And another part I took in this project was the lighting in the Unity for the game, because when I first started working it and I looked into the house, it was pretty dark. Like I couldn't really see like which room is which. So I ended up putting the furniture in like in the wrong places. So I decided to. So I asked Kiara, I was like, do you mind if I do the lighting? And she's like, yeah, go ahead. And I did, and I managed to put lights in the house, and I was able to see. Challenges again. Well, yeah, the lighting was a pretty challenging for me because I never really experienced with Unity that often, but I managed to find some tutorials on like different like video platforms, and also at Kiara helped me with that too as well. And uh, I also used try to code the light too, because I want to see if I can actually see the light would work. Also, I wanted to see if I could make it flicker, but it didn't really work out. But in the end I just make the lights a little dim, like make it a little dark. Some model 3D assets were a little challenging because there are some assets, like for example the tree was supposed to like appear as I want it to be. So I try to keep changing around the structure of the tree, and I just keep trying and trying, and it works. And I was able to put that into Unity. And also learning a different 3D modeling program, because um, I tried Blender at one point, and it wasn't really my strongest suit. So I decided to stick to Maya because I'm more comfortable with it. Uh, and so what I learned from this project is, like, I was coming up with the idea on how the game would want and what and how it will look. And also what I learned is also the team, like our ideas kind of mashed in together, seeing what could go and what can we agree or not agree on this project. And in the end, we managed to get like our stuff into the game and make it working, and we're just really proud of that. And my next steps in the future is to also save this game in my portfolio, and also decide to find other game companies that need help, like Microsoft Studios, or maybe again, or Sony, or maybe Nintendo in the future, that they can help with like some come up with like assets for games, or also maybe some new characters for the game for a game. And also like to thank my professor, uh, I'm sorry, Professor Rioya, also Heidi, and Also, I'd like to thank my technical advisor for all the help and for all the other professors that I had throughout my years at City Tech to help me learn like 3D modeling and also how how to use Unity 2 as well. And also, I'd like to thank my my other group members for the help as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. So yeah, since Kiara showed us the video clip
Yeah.
from the same project, so you don't need to show another one. So good. Thank you very much. How easy was it or difficult was it to collaborate with two other students, William?
It wasn't really that challenging. It's just that ideas that we have, and maybe it's like similar ideas, but other times we just had different ideas of how the game would look. But in the end, we just agreed on that one specific idea. So yeah, so it wasn't that hard overall.
But did you challenge yourself with this project individually?
Um, not I just want to again like to see what other programs I could use. You know, like other 3D programs, or again, like I said, with Blender, because I know Blender. I know like most students use Blender as a like a 3D modeling thing, but again, I'm more comfortable with Maya's. But maybe in the future, I would able to study use Blender more because Maya again you have to pay for it, and Blender's free, so I might as well get to learn that.
Are you guys, well, Kiara is still here. I thought she was taking the final. Maybe she's taking it at the same time. Wow. Are you graduating this semester, both of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And are you going to look for a job together or possibly in the future stay as a team or?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I want to stay as a team.
Yeah, it'll be cool, but we still haven't discussed it. Yeah,
Okay,
but
yeah.
maybe but maybe in the future, yeah.
Maybe it was a tricky question. Sorry.
Yeah,
All right. Let's open up more questions.
I have one more question. Is who came up with the idea of the characters named Fukushima?
I did.
Kiara.
I think I asked you that before, and you didn't seem to really admit it. But
Yeah.
does anyone else realize why I'm like asking that?
Yeah.
The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant blew up in 2011. It was one of the biggest nuke accidents that ever had. So there's a certain parallel to this storyline of the game. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, definitely. And but also at the same time, Fukushima is actually, believe it or not, it's a common last name in Japan. But of course, when I heard about this game, I definitely thought about the accident.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about it, but I'm a bit of a nuke geek, so it's like
Oh,
rang a bell right away. Like, oh my god!
yeah, right. Yep. All right. Any other questions, comments, anyone?
How did you manage like deadlines and like who was like the project manager of the entire project?
I was the project manager. The timing was, it's like I used a program called Trello on like on Google and stuff, and that I used that to actually make a list of everything that we needed for this program and put the due date of which when it's due and when it's needed, because I actually take everyone's part and put it into the program to like look over it to make sure everything is running smoothly. So yeah.
What's the name of that program?
Trello.
Trello.
Okay, good to know.
So it's like it's a easier way to actually organize yourself with like you make tabs and you make a list of what you need. And then when you're done, you can make another tab saying, oh, it's complete. You just move it over. Just keep track of everything that you're doing.
Awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Good. All right. Any other comments, thoughts? If not, Kiara can go back to her final exam. And thank you, William. Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you.
We did it.
We did.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. And the next presenter is Mr. Hassan Paul. He goes by Sam. And let's welcome Sam. Is he here today? Yes, he is.
There.
He's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, it seems like I'm invisible, so let me remove that. Okay, so good afternoon and good evening to everyone. So my name is Assam and everyone call me Sam. But before I continue, I gotta make sure that my sound is working. Can you guys hear or no? Can you guys hear anything, like me playing anything?
We can definitely hear your voice. It's some
No,
noise, but it's not as bad as the other day. So
what
that's
about the
fine.
music? No music?
Oh,
I was actually
no,
trying to play the music. I mean, play
no.
something. So, not. Let me check.
Did
Fix my.
you activate the stuff that we talked about and you did
I
fine last time?
sure did. That's why I want to make sure it's working. I'm gonna try one last time. Okay. Still nothing.
We don't. I mean, I don't hear any music. Yes, now we do. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, then I can definitely get started with my presentation. Okay. All right. And boom. Screen's okay. Sharing is okay.
Yes.
All right then. Okay, so yes, my name is Assam. Everybody call me Sam. A little bit about myself. I am a Marine veteran. I did 4 years active as a Marine, and I went to after my time. I went to Kingsborough Community College to get a degree in graphic design animation, and I felt like I needed more than just graphic design stuff. So until I'm like, you know what, I need to find something better because I'm more into like watching videos, special effect videos like Marvel, DC, Superman. What got my attention more is the special effects. So I decided, you know what, I need to learn and figure out how they created these special effects. So upon my research, I came across a website called Udemy. So Udemy is a online courses where instructor or anyone can post a course to learn whatever you want. It could be administration, it could be coding, it could be whatever the case you want to learn. In my case, I wanted to learn After Effects. So I type Adobe After Effects, and there's like a lot of options for me to pick. I just type Adobe After Effects, and 10,000 results came up about Adobe After Effects. But when I was learning Adobe After Effects, those courses were actually free. But now you have to pay for it. So lucky me, I didn't have to pay nothing. But I did pay for a few advanced courses to know more about some of the advanced stuff. And then from there, I kind of, you know what? Let me just learn After Effects on my own by clicking stuff, undo Command Z to figure out, okay, this is what it does. Until I kind of got comfortable with After Effects. So the overview of what my commission is about. My commission is about a short sci-fi film called Sam Legend. It's in progress at the moment. 100 years ago, Sam was once a powerful being with two souls, the normal soul and the evil soul, living in the same body. Later on, Sam was betrayed by his own companion, and they sealed away the evil one in the shape of two eyeballs. In the present time, the good Sam was reincarnated, while the evil one found himself back on Earth to have his revenge and to be reunited as one. What was my role and responsibility in this production? I was a director, scheduling, planning, meeting, coaching crew on how to operate equipment, camera movement and position, lighting, intensity and position. I'm also the video editor. I have to edit the footage, color correction if needed, sound mixing, edit voice mixing, voice effect, sound mixing, and of course, sound effects. Special visual effect that I used in my video was mirror effect, the eye effect, teleportation, and of course, change of sweater. The equipment I used was a Sony a6000 camera and monitor, a camera mount holder, tripods, photography lights, and 2 small LED lights. Green screen. The props were BB gun, doctor outfit, mask, fake eyes, syringe, empty jaw, and chains. And for the post-production, I use Adobe Audition, Premiere Pro, After Effects, and Photoshop. All right, so this is one of my scenes that I did on my video. So check this out real quick. And this is how it looks like. Oh no. Can I go back? All right, I'm gonna play it one last time with hopefully more volume. Okay, and that's one of the scene of my video. So how did I accomplish this video? Okay, this is me in After Effects using the green screen, and of course the 2 photography light on me, so I can better work with this footage. What I did, I removed the green screen, and that's how it looks like. And also during my video editing class, I learned something called asset. The asset are technically like outside sources, like outside videos that I could just search online. I could use that to kind of put life into my videos without me going outside to actually shoot stuff. It's already there out there for me. So I went to a website, took the video, and add it on top of this. There's a scene where some guy called and said, hey, he's underwater doing some crazy stuff. You should check it out and see for yourself. So I kind of picked that footage. Stuff is actually kind of moving because make it look like I'm underwater. Then once the power started building up, I found out an asset, which is the bubbling kind of increasing, kind of put that effects into it. Like, hey, I'm about to put some kind of superpower at you. And lastly, the eyes effect, which was the most challenging thing that I ever faced. All right, how did I do the eye effect? The first one, I just can see the A, letter A, is the first footage green screen with the light on me. And of course, on After Effects, I created something called a solid layer, which is this color, bluish color. What I did, I take the bluish, put it on top of the footage, which is number C right now. I hide the solid layer. So technically, I'm working with the letter C right there on the left side, bottom left side. I'm working with that. Then from there, I just draw a mask in my iris to kind of, that's why I want the color to pop up when my eyes change color. Again, that's how it looks like. 2 mask layer, just draw a little circle-ish on top of my iris. And that's how it looks like. Color blue kind of lighting up. What I've learned during my course on Udemy, they taught me something called a tracking. The tracking technically allow me to add anything in my eyes. Wherever my eyes go, it will automatically follow my eyes. Say that's the most easiest thing to do. I'm like, all right, if it's easy, then of course I'm gonna do it. That sounds easy. I went ahead and do it. And this was the result of me trying to do the tracking. So my eyes started lighting up, and then somehow I lost track of it. It's not following my eyes movement. So I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do? I thought this was gonna be easy, but it seems like I was having difficulty figuring out how to do it. So therefore, I had to do it the harder way. So as you can see right there, going back a few slides, the masking, what I do is something called frame by frame animation, which allow me to manually move the mask wherever my eyes go. I move the mask up. I go left, I have to move both masks to the left. I move up, I have to move both masks to the right. I mean, on top, right, whichever position I go. That's my only struggle because every movement, every frame by frame, I have to move the mask until I finally did it. And that was the result of me creating the eyes effect. Secondly, the mirror effects. This is one scene without the camera movement. The left side, which is the mirror reflection, the right side, which is me, just my head down. How did I accomplish this? This is the first scene with the camera just standing still, no movement, with just me, my head down. So what I did, I moved away from the camera while it's still rolling, and I moved back into the camera doing the mirror scene. I'm like, okay, I did this. So what do I have to do now to kind of bring that mirror reflection effect? Of course, on my course on Udemy, I learned about masking, which allowed me to add two clips on top of each other or the same clip, whichever, with no camera movement. Just put a mask. The mask will allow to reveal any information if there's like two clips on top of each other. So which was, of course, that's one clip. So I cut the clip into two, the right side with me, my head down, and the left side with the reflection mirror, put it on top of each other. Then I create the mask that kind of allowed to create this. At first, it was a failure because the reflection was kind of too close to me, my head down. It's the other way around. My head down was kind of too close to the mirror, or if not, they kind of close to each other. So I have to kind of look at the camera, like, okay, is this good enough? I have to kind of visualize, okay, I think that sounds good. Look at the mirror, and that's how I came up with the mirror effect. Sound mixing, and voice mixing. Okay, the way I do my stuff is I recorded everything to the camera, put it on Premiere Pro. Then from Premiere Pro, I just take the voice only, whichever is talking. I export the voice into Adobe Audition. All of these, as you can see, this is all the conversation that's in my episode that I did. At first, this is how it looks like. It's like 8 seconds, a scene of it, me talking.
I don't take orders from no one. You will pay for keeping me hostage.
As you can hear, there is like noisy noise. It's just ugly. It's just not good.
I don't take orders from no one. You will pay for keeping me hostage.
What I have to do, I have to go back to my sound two editing, sound two notes. Find out, you know what, my professor taught me something about denoise that allowed me to remove noise from any background or from any things. So I went to Audition, I add the denoise, I remove the noisy sound that you hear, and also I had to figure out, okay, how can I create some kind of evilish type of sound effect? At first, I did the blue color. It's the original color, the original voice. So I was taught like, hey, make sure you duplicate your layer. So whatever you're doing on top, it does affect the second one. I said, okay, no problem. So when I duplicate the layer, this is how it came out by accident. I didn't know. I just said, no, let me play it. And that's how it came out to be.
I don't take orders from no one. You will pay for keeping me
I'm gonna
hostage.
play it one more time.
I don't take orders from no one. You will pay for keeping me
So
hostage.
technically, I was able to accomplish this effect using some of the knowledge I learned from Sound 2, with something called pitch that allowed me to increase or decrease the voice of my tone. And of course, adding the duplicate this, and that's how I came up with this effect. Also, I play piano, just kind of started playing piano. This music that I'm about to play is my own regular melody. So I don't know nothing about piano. Like I said, I'm just playing around. I came out with this, and that's how it looks like. Okay, it's kind of boring at first. So I'm like, you know what? I need to make this better. How can I make this better? Until I was browsing on the social media or website, I came up with something called Ghost Hack. It's a company that create loop beats, like drums, hats, whatever the case is. I tried to add it on top of my melody. It just did not work. So what I did, I'm like, you know what? Let me just play the beat on Audition. As the beat is playing, I'm kind of visualize playing it, trying to go with the sound playing at the same time, kind of match it together. And this was the result of me doing that. The reason for me creating this piece is because back in the past, I usually go online, go on YouTube, get sound to put on my own stuff. Then I have to put credit. If not, I gotta get copyrighted. So I'm trying to find a way to avoid all of this. That was the reason of me to creating this piece right there. And for the budget equipment, this is my budgets, and of course all the equipment, which came out with $5,822.58. And of course, for the post production or the programs, which is GoSack, where I bought multiple files from them: sound, beats, loop, Adobe Creative Cloud, which is 3265 a month. Video Plus Pro preset is like color correction stuff, so I can add to Premiere Pro, kind of make my scene looks a lot better. So the total came up to $6,695.22. Now, of course, this is my calendar list. It took me a while. I started this project since July 2nd, and it all was done on November 13th. Of course, it took me like 6 to 7 hours to put all of these together, color corrected, of course, Audition, take stuff from Audition, Photoshop, and illustration to kind of put everything together. So in conclusion, it was thanks to all Udemy that I was able to learn After Effects, and of course, learn more about masking, because masking can make your footage a lot better if you combining stuff, doing a lot of the special effects. Sound mixing, of course, was it for my sound class that I learned a lot from my sound. I will not be able to do this. And my goals is to hopefully one day work for a big video company that does video editing, and of course special effects, which what I'm really into. And hopefully with this episode, I'm planning on retouching it, because I like it, but I don't like it. I feel like there's more to it. I feel like I need to add more to make it a lot better. So that's the goal. And then for the professors that see my video, if you will notice that me walking in the hallway with a gun, kind of not knowing what's going on. This was based on a real training that I did in the military, because we were trained to like go through buildings, make sure look you're surrounded, don't be quick to rush and do bad decisions. You gotta take your time, look around. That was based on a real life story that I went through. And of course, I want to say thank you to the New York City College of Technology, the ENT department, Professor Rioya for teaching me a lot about camera, Professor Trevino is not here, so taught me for teaching me about editing, Professor Matthew, of course, sound too. I learned a lot about sound mixing, Professor Frederick for sound design, and of course for our chair department, Sir John, because it was for him that it was because of him that I learned about what ENT is all about. When I first came in, it was like, here's two options for you, ENT and the other one. I don't remember what the other one is. I'm like, you know what? I think I'll go with ENT. And then that's how I managed to, ENT, I love it. I love the sound of it. I get to experience with live stuff, maybe, even though I'm more into the editing side. And that's it for my culmination. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You can stop sharing your screen. Yeah, great. Okay. All right, Sam, you did it.
Yes.
Now we'll give
Did
you a
it.
hard time.
Yeah.
So you did a lot by yourself,
Yes, all by myself.
even just the software itself. I mean, so many programs that you learned, and
Oh,
you
yes.
applied all the knowledge and skills into this project. That's
right.
admirable. Yeah. Who had seen your film so far?
You did.
Yes.
I did.
Who else? Okay, you did. And of course, who else? One of my professor from I believe her name is Sarah from Intro to Entertainment. She saw it and she was happy about it. Yes. And yeah, I believe so. Only 3 people, 4 people. I hope more.
Was it Erica who emailed you?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Miss Erica, I'm sorry. Remember that name. Yes.
And to me, the mirror scene was a very nice surprise. I mean, in addition to the program that you used, it was a nice pacing, very good timing, and
Yeah,
good
yeah,
direction
I
in
agree.
the film.
Yeah, I like the mirror.
Yeah, and how did you film yourself? I guess you had the camera.
Which one with the
operator.
camera? Where at first the my friend that was helping me wanted to touch. I'm like, no, don't touch it. Just let it there. Let it stand still. So I had to kind of visualize at the end, like, you know what? Maybe I should move to the right. Oh no, I think to the left. I have to kind of visualize. You know what? I think that's how that. I hope that's gonna work. And then 10 try, 20, 15 try of recording. It works.
And you have been acting for a long time.
Oh yes, all by myself, unfortunately.
Okay, but but the hallway scene that when you walk around with a gun, that's very convincing. That probably came from your
From
experience in the
experience,
Marine. Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
So how would you have to go through buildings, smack the door, like who's there? But for this scene, I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to break break this door. Just kind of go slowly and open it, and then just kind of look around. But yes,
Okay. Any comments, questions? Anyone?
Mm.
So, how did you choose which camera you wanted to use to shoot?
Okay. To be honest, I did not choose. I know, I have this camera. I went to the setting. It has HD high definition. I'm like, you know what? That's good enough for me. Though I don't know much. I know a lot about camera things, Professor Rioya. So just because I had this Sony A6000 camera, I'm like, you know what? Let me check the setting to see if it fit me. I see, of course, high definition. I'm like, you know what? High definition sounds good to me. So I just stick with that. I record it. I look at the shot. I'm like, you know what? It looks clear enough for me. So I just record it and use it. Yeah.
Good. And for editing, it was all Adobe products like Premiere. That's what
Yeah,
you use for editing.
Premiere for editing, After Effects for the special effects. Because there's a scene where I'm in the computer. I have to use like Photoshop to kind of create them. But yes.
Mm. Actually, on my computer, I know the display is different on each computer, but on my computer, I see Margaret right next to you, and I just realized you are both from the same country. You know each other, right?
No.
Margaret, do you have any comment? You are on mute now.
No, what make you think we come from the same country?
Yeah, what made you think that? Yeah.
You are, right?
No. You can even feel the different accent.
Oh, Professor Rioya. Ooh.
I thought you are.
Mhm.
Yes, you are. Anyway, so Margaret, any questions to Sam?
So no question. I see they're doing wonderful. Beside the stress they've been having, doing like, right. On remote, they are doing wonderful.
Yes, gotta be happy.
Okay. Any any comments, any questions, and all right. Maybe some of them people write questions on YouTube, of which I'm just
I don't have
just
any
too lazy
questions.
to
I just want to say congratulations. I think it's a tremendous achievement.
That is right. Yeah.
I have a question. Do you have an idea what you're gonna do for like the second episode?
Oh yes, gonna involve a lot of fighting, hopefully, and a lot of special effects, crazy stuff. But yes, it's all planned out. But the goal right now is I'm gonna retouch it. I want to add more scene because on my overview when I said came from outer space back on Earth, so I'm gonna try to retouch by putting like this actual space and the like you see the Earth kind of speeding. I'm trying to put something kind of floating towards F. On Earth. Earth. So that's the goal. I'm gonna retouch and do a lot of crazy things to it. Yes.
Cool.
Okay. Great. So if there's no other question or comments, thank you very much, Sam. Yes. No. William has a question.
Yeah.
The toughest question ever, probably.
So it's like, what do you like? You say you're working on the second episode already, right?
No, not at the moment. I'm gonna retouch the first one first and then add more. I want to bring it to a point where I can like I publish it, because the goal is to publish it hopefully to a film festival. I'm gonna have to put it on my portfolio, but I want to retouch the first episode first, and from there I'm gonna tackle the second episode. But yes,
Okay.
I already got the script written for episode 2. I just gotta retouch the first episode.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Great. Yep.
Where can you see the first one?
Where? Oh, it would publish on YouTube. Well, I don't like YouTube because there's too many things. Because too many people there's special effects on YouTube. I'm like, you know what? I will post it definitely on my Instagram, definitely on my Facebook. I follow other groups that there's filming stuff, so I'm gonna share it with them. So hopefully, if they like my work, I'm like, you know what? Hey, we want to work with you. So that's the goal. But of course, I can also send it to you.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you, Sam. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So before we just move on to the next person, because I just happened to see a question on YouTube. So this is the plan. I mean, the schedule. We're a little bit running behind, but so far, Kiara, William, and Sam have presented, and we still get to see Corey, Kiana, and Patrick coming up. So, okay, in case, because somebody was asking. All right, okay. And so we have a very small audience within the Zoom session. So if there's anybody who have a question among the YouTube viewers, you can write your questions here. And hopefully we can remember to check them. Thank you very much. And so the next presenter is Mr. Corey Small.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me just share my screen and get set up here. Can you all see the screen?
Yes.
So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Corey Small, and today I will be presenting my Culmination project. My project is the redesign the system for my church AV system. The name of my church is Free Will Church of God in Christ. I've been a member there since I was born, and I've been handling the AV duties there for about as long as I can remember. So when this Culmination project came along, it was befitting for me to do something for my church because they've given so much to me. So I wanted to do something to give back. So I decided that it was appropriate for me to do the redesign of the system. And the reason why I'm going to be redesigning the system is because the existing system is completely analog, and we are now in a digital world. So I want to bring the system into the 21st century. The system was also installed incorrectly when it was done. By taking Sound 1 and Sound 2 classes and system installations, I found that I got the information that some of the things that we have done inside the building are currently done incorrectly. So I want to fix those things and bring the system to the 21st century and make it correct. Some of the components, because the system is old, the system is going on 10 years old now. So some of the components are aged and they're starting to fail. So I figure if we're going to be upgrading and getting new components, we might as well just redesign the entire system. I also wanted to add a video system because that doesn't exist. And what the pandemic has showed us is that this is absolutely necessary for our church's ministry to go forward. We have found new ways to interact with one another. We're doing streaming online right now, and we're doing virtual service with another platform called called Jitsi. It's a Zoom-like program, but it's open broadcast, so it's free. And I needed to incorporate streaming into our services so that we go back to the building that will be set up to bring in people that may not be ready to come back to church and also broaden our horizons and outreach. So the process of the project first entailed the research of all the audio and video equipment for the new system. I did this research for over a year to make sure that I was getting the things and components that I wanted. Every time I figured that I settled on something, I found something new that worked better. So it took me a while to narrow everything down. I had a criteria for the selection process of all the equipment, and that criteria included price, compatibility, flexibility, and ease of use. I'm also designing and configuring the placement of equipment. So for that, I included a stage plot of what the area looks like now and what the area will look like after with the new enhancements. I also included a video system block diagram so that you can see how the video system will be incorporated into the church service. As the project manager, I compiled the price list for the equipment and a calendar for the process of installation if the system gets approved. So here what you're looking at is the current setup of our church. This is a stage plot of what the church looks like. In the front, you can see we have two main speakers, two main JBL 15 inchers, and we have two 12-inch JBLs on the side of the podium, an organ, drums, and a keyboard. We also have microphones. I didn't want to include that because it would clutter the map. You can see in the rear of the church facing back toward the front, we have two more JBL 15 inchers, which in our system is incorrectly placed. They should actually be placed in the middle. So that is one of the things that I want to correct. Also, our sound room is being shared with our finance office, which is behind the wall, which is behind this wall, and I want to bring that out into the room so that I can test sound levels better. So here is a picture of the sanctuary because it's hard to show people what the challenge is that we're facing without visuals. So I wanted to give you guys a visual aid of this is what the front of the sanctuary looks like from the back of the room. You can see the two hanging 15 inchers, the podium, and the monitors are back there. Please excuse these photos. I took these photos while we were sanitizing after the pandemic hit. The picture on the right is the rear of the sanctuary where you can see the two 15-inch facing back toward the front. And this little window here is where we house the office with all of the sound mixer and the gear. On the left here is the podium. You'll see two mismatch monitors here, a 15-inch Yamaha and a 12-inch JBL. That's because my other JBL, the tweeter blew up, so I had to replace it with this Yamaha. On the right, you'll see the office. Part of the system design will be to move this stuff out of this space and into a more organized space into a sound booth. So the proposed changes for the audio system. We're going to be I'm proposing new rack cases for all the equipment. We're getting a wireless microphone system to alleviate all of the cords from our current wired mic system. For that, I chose the GLXD GLXD wireless management system for the microphones, which includes the frequency manager, the GLXD digital wireless receivers, SM58 handhelds, and a W185 lavalier mic. For a soundboard, I chose the Allen and Heath SQ6 48-channel digital mixer. I chose this one because Yamaha CL5 is very, very, very expensive, and this one is a lot cheaper. I chose the Allen and Heath GLD AR2412 in and out expander stage box. I was going with a Dante stage box, but the Dante stage box cost more money, and the Dante card to go into this digital mixer costs around another $600. So Allen and Heath also has its own proprietary digital snake system, which works just as well as Dante. So I decided to go with that because it was more in line with the budget. For speakers, I chose the QSC-E series. We're going with 6 10-inch monitors. I'm sorry, we're going with 6 10-inch monitors, 4 for the stage and 2 for the midway delays. We're going with QSC 12 inches for the main PAs and an 18-inch subwoofer. I had originally designed this with 215s to match the ones that we had, but after speaking to my technical advisor, Professor Erica, we decided that going with the 12 inches and a subwoofer would make the system lighter to hang, and with the subwoofer, it would give it a bit more of a punch. So for the amplifiers, I chose the PLD 4.2 for the 10-inch speakers, the 4.3 for the 12-inch speakers, and the 4.5 for the subwoofer. Next is the stage plot of the proposed setup for the new system. As you can see, we have removed the 2 speakers from the back, and we have put them midway where we're going to activate a delay, and we have the other speakers in the front. And then we have the newly designed sound booth that will go in the back to house all the video equipment and the sound mixer and the racks and the wireless system. For the video upgrade, we're going to get a new media computer. I chose a MSI Aegis desktop PC. This is a powerful gaming PC. So it will handle all of the video processing that I needed to handle for high definition displays and streaming. 2 HP Elite displays, 23 inches for that. An audio interface, the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. A Canon EOS DSLR. I was going to go with a PTZ camera, but that camera is upwards of $2,500. And the EOS camera is a lot easier for volunteers to use that don't have any video experience. I have a video capture device, the Oscar Suma 4K HDMI to USB 3. We're going to add a projector downstairs in our dining space, which will be the Epson Powerlight 2250. We're going to add an HDMI input switch so that we have flexibility not only to stream what's going on upstairs, but also when we're downstairs in the dining space, we can add laptops and HD playback from DVDs, Blu-ray players, and such. We're also going to be using HD-based-T converters to run the signals down with Ethernet into the to the 3 displays that we have in the dining room, and then we'll convert them back to HDMI at the monitors. We're going to be using Cat6 Ethernet cable to do all the cable runs, and HDMI cables at the converters on the monitors. Here is the video system block diagram for the upper level for the sanctuary. We're getting our network feed from our finance office, which houses the cable modem and the network router. And then inside the media booth will house the computer, the audio interface, and the video capture card, as well as an HDMI transmitter to transmit downstairs to the lower level. Down on the lower level, we have 3 monitor displays plus the projector, and we will be using a 4-way transmitter once we come out of the switch to transmit the HDMI signal to the 4 different playback devices. Here is a picture of the lower level of our dining space. As you can see, we have 3 separate monitors, and in the top corner here is a smaller monitor, which we use for our security system to view cameras. So the price and the project cost for this. The audio upgrade with all the equipment and the materials is $24,218.87. Theoretical labor for the installation process, that I will most likely be handling on my end will be an additional $500, pretty much for cables and mounts for the speakers, which would bring our price to close to $25,000. For the video system, the equipment and material cost was $5,445.87, and the cost for the installation is going to be about $2,500, and that would include the installation and building of the sound booth, and that would bring our price up to roughly $8,000. So the timeline of the project, first things first, we have to place the equipment order. There will be a delivery of about 2 to 4 weeks to get all of the equipment to the building. The equipment installation for audio should take about 2 to 3 days, plus configuration and tuning should take about 8 to 10 hours. For the video system, the delivery of the equipment should take about 1 to 2 weeks. Construction of the media booth will probably take about 2 weeks. It may be even longer if we have to pull permits. And the media equipment installation should take about 8 hours. The lower level equipment should take another 8 hours. And to configure and test the whole system, I believe it should take about 4 hours. At this time, I would like to thank everyone who helped out on this project. First and foremost, my pastor and my first lady, Professor Giovannetti, and also my technical advisor, Professor Erica. I believe this system will help us. It will put us in a position that will allow us to be the church that we are and allow us to put people in a position that we can help the community and bring in people who need experience and have experience. So just like City Tech gave back to me, this is my opportunity to give back to City Tech. So hopefully there can be some internships that come out of this. We can bring in people from school that need experience and that need to get their feet wet. And then I can also teach people things that I was taught while I was at City Tech. So thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
Oh,
Brilliant,
thank you.
brilliant.
Thank
Yes. Wow. You are in charge of money at your church.
No, I am not in charge.
But without you, it will be very different technically, and you have done so much for them.
Yes.
Did that project cost really that much money?
Yes,
Who
it does.
financed that money?
It costs that much money because it's pretty much a whole system overhaul.
Who has financed you for that?
Who's going to finance it? That's what we're working on. I believe that if we do things in chunks and in sections, we can finance the project. I would love to do it all at once, but we're probably going to have to do it in chunks. So we're probably going to have to spend $2,000 here, $3,000 there, $5,000 there. Maybe do some things to increase our rate. Once people start seeing the benefits of the system, I believe that they will want to donate and give towards it. There are a lot of production companies that like to get rid of equipment when they don't have any use for it. So I'll also be reaching out to those people to try to bring down the cost of the system. Now, this system is also based on what I would want. These are my dream components. These are the things that I would like. I have also done research for least expensive items that we may be able to use, but these are the things that I would like.
Okay. So did you attain your objective?
Did I add it in? Yes.
Okay. I mean, did you, all of this stress you put on that project, are you satisfied?
Yes, I'm very satisfied with the project.
Okay. Yeah, that's what counts.
Good questions. Corey,
congratulations, Corey.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, Professor Sue Brandt is here. I mean, she has been here, but now she turned on her
Sorry,
camera.
guys, I had a sledding emergency with my 10-year-old.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I had to. No, she's fine. I had to take her. There was a meltdown going on.
Oh.
Because I've been in class and shoveling snow for 3 hours.
Right. Okay.
So I snuck away, guys, to take her down to go down the hill a couple times, and I came back. One must admit when one has been tardy. But I enjoyed the presentations I saw, and I'm very excited, Corey. I heard great things. Hey, Sam, how are you? He's not a little excited about graduating, is he? Loved your video, bud. You were pretty hysterical.
I've been talking about myself, but yes, I did it.
So congratulations also, Kiana, and all the emerging media students that I haven't met previously. Congratulations on work well done.
Yeah, we are a little bit past the midpoint, and so just going back to Corey, are you employed by the church or are you volunteering?
No, I volunteer.
Good for you.
This
And
is
what do you?
where I've been since I was a child.
Okay, that's right. So you're going to stay with them.
Yeah, I'm a minister.
Okay, but what are you going to do otherwise after you graduate?
Well, I'm exploring different opportunities. I'm waiting for the right thing to come along. I would love to be on tour somewhere as a sound engineer, with a big production. But right now I'm set up. I'm in a good place. I work for one of the largest movie theaters in the world, so I'm really where I could be right now. So I'm just waiting on the next best thing to come along.
Just briefly, if you can summarize, what did you learn at City Tech exactly?
I learned a lot. I learned that when I got there, everything I knew was incorrect. And so I learned how to correct the things that I thought I knew. I learned how to listen to people who had more knowledge than me and incorporate the things that I did know that were correct. I also learned how to collaborate better with other people. And I learned how to organize better.
Sounds like you got the essence of our program, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying.
Yeah, that's right. What are you doing incorrectly, if you can make it?
Well, there were just some things audio-wise, like as a sound engineer, doing sound checks and different things. I was doing things backwards. So I was adjusting channel levels instead of adjusting the gain first. I was not ringing out speakers and doing things. So I would kind of do things backwards, and I just got the sense of correcting those and how to correctly set up a soundboard and set up different channels, set up auxes for the monitors instead of having those also come out the main PAs. How to set up monitors in series. I was just doing things that were working, but they weren't the correct way to do.
Okay. I mean, like you said, it's wonderful that now you're graduating, and you can hire some of our students as interns, and you can train them.
Right. Which is one of the things that I spoke to Professor Erica about, and we had that discussion at length. There are opportunities for students that she teaches on the outside, students that go to City Tech. City Tech is also always looking for internship opportunities. Professor Valderrama is always scouring the network for places where students can learn and grow. And just being able to be that person to offer an environment that's conducive to what people need to learn gives me that opportunity to give back.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
beautiful.
beautiful.
That, I think, is one of the most admirable things about your entire approach and project. I think that's wonderful. That's terrific.
Okay, so any other comments, questions, thoughts before we say goodbye to Corey? I mean, he will stay. So we are good. All right. Well, very impressive. Thank you very much, Corey.
Thank you.
Great. So this will be the next person, will be the 5th presenter out of 6 today. And that's Miss Kiana Small. Let's welcome her.
Yay. Hi. Let me share my screen.
By the way, everybody looks great today.
Thank you. So, all right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, hi guys, my name is Kiana Small, and I did a documentary on Black-owned businesses and how they impact the community and the effects of COVID-19. So, let's fast forward. In this documentary, I wanted to focus on a Black woman. In the small business universe, 27% of small businesses are owned by women, and for Black-owned businesses, it's 35%. Not only do Black-owned businesses give a unique and positive identity to their community, but increase economic gain, identity, and increases the local tax base and create local jobs. So I wanted to showcase my community. I grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn all my life. And one of the cross streets I live on is Tompkins Avenue. And every year Tompkins have the Tama Festival, which is Tompkins Avenue, and the next block over, which is Marcy. So they shut down about five or six blocks from Gates to Halsey, and all the businesses come out in the street, vendors come out. They have music, they have food, people are selling stuff. You get to meet your neighbors. We live in New York, and like how many of us actually know our neighbors? So that was one inspiration of why I wanted to do something for my community. I started out wanting to do a coffee shop that's actually on the same block as the store that I did, called Sincerely Tommy. But one day after, about a year ago, I was walking to get something to eat, and I saw that the store had opened up. It was like in this empty, vacant place. It's like 10 years since something actually was there. So I was very curious. I walked in, and that's where I met my subject for the first time, Yendis. And she told me her story. She told me how she makes plant-based hair and skin products, and she also sells plants. And I met her daughter, and she made like homemade sprays, and that was really interesting because I have allergies, and anything with fragrance literally triggers me. But I used this, and it was really well. So I went back a couple of times, and then COVID happened, and we were shut down for about like 3-4 months. And once she opened back up, I went back in and asked her, and she said yes. And this is a preview of what I did.
Bed-Stuy. I've been here.
Can you guys
not
hear?
Quite 3 years, maybe 2.5 years.
Yes. But maybe you can enlarge the screen because we are seeing the current slide and the next slide. If that's easy. If not easy, that's fine.
Just click the swap displays at the top, and it will swap.
Okay.
It's on the top left hand of the screen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I moved to Bed-Stuy. I've been here not quite 3 years, maybe 2.5 years.
Priestess Yendis Nefer Atum is the founder and owner of the Ancient Blends Apothecary in Brooklyn.
So we opened this physical space on December 26th, and then we got the news of COVID 3 days shy of 3 months of being in this space. I feel that it was just enough time, those 3 months, for them to fall in love with the products and know that it was something that they wanted to incorporate. I am so happy to tell you that every weekend we are basically sold to the rafters. They tune in. As soon as they walk in, it's like they're pulled in by the scents outside that's wafting out. And then they come in and relax with the experience. I am a healer. I am a person that guides someone and reinforces in them that they can heal themselves. And as far as also what I am for the community is I'm that oracle.
Okay.
I moved to Bed-Stuy. I've been here.
Okay. So my objectives was to schedule time to actually film, start with pre-production, my shot list, coming up with questions to ask my subject, and getting equipment, assembling a crew, shoot the interview, do the post-production and editing, submit a rough cut to get reviewed, make some changes or reshoots, and then submit my fine cut. So this took me a span of 4 months to actually shoot and edit everything. I started the second week of September and I did my first shoot, and then the audio was not working. Like nothing that I recorded, the audio was not happening. So I had to do a reshoot in October, and then November and December I did my post-production. Nothing would have been done without my crew. I was the director, the project manager, a cameraman at one point, and the editor. My friend Janae, who graduated last semester from ComD, she was my director of photography, and my camerawoman, and my friend Sal, who you're looking at right now, who was my production assistant and scriptwriter. So originally my budget was actually $1,500, but when I added up more, it came up to $1,640. I got a camera, the SD card, lights, microphones. I started off with just a lavalier microphone, but then I had got a boom mic just to pick up audio in case my lavalier microphone didn't work the second time. A clapboard, a battery charger, so my camera wouldn't die, and a tripod. So the challenges I went through many challenges for this project. One was COVID-19. Right when I was about to ask her, can we shoot? Because I was planning on shooting this in the summer so I could just focus on this. The store was closed, so I couldn't do anything. And then on top of that, the reason why I wanted to do COVID-19 is because the project I did in Trevino's class last semester in advanced editing, we were doing a reflection of COVID and what we were going through. And I couldn't finish the project because my house caught on fire. So I was no longer in the neighborhood that I was actually in. So I couldn't just walk down the street and be like, hey, let me shoot some B-roll or let me shoot the interview. I actually have to travel now. So that was another stunt that I did. Scheduling was hard also because I work, go to school, internship, and she's only open on weekends, and that's the days I go to work. So if I wanted to shoot B-roll for the store, I either have to go before work, or if it was after work, sometimes I would be tired, and then it was daylight saving time, so like it would be dark outside, so that was a challenge. Filming this first interview, I said the audio was just terrible. The lavalier mic that I had, I accidentally plugged there was two plugs, one for DSLR camera and then one for the computer and the phone. I got the two confused, so that messed up. So I had to do a reshoot in October, and when I did, my friend Janae couldn't come because she broke her leg and she had to go to therapy. So I had to become the director and the cameraman for both cameras. So I borrowed her camera, luckily, but midway her camera died. So I had to think fast. I used my camera that I was using a side angle with. I put that in the front, and then I used my cell phone for the side camera. So you can see in the documentary, I did like a VHS effect, and that's simply because like the quality difference was there. So after I did the second reshoot, I didn't touch my footage for like 3 weeks because I had like PTSD from like the first time I did it. And then I was just like, oh God, what if this come out terrible? What am I gonna do? And then like, it was like the week before Thanksgiving. I was like, yeah, I actually have to come up with something before the deadline. So yeah, I did the first edit. I showed Rayoya, who was my advisor, and he was like, he liked the story. It was just like, it was so long, and I had to crunch it down to 10 minutes. So I redid it again and I showed it to him again. And he was like saying like, get to the point, get to the point. And I also showed my cousin who was an editor also, he was telling me the same thing. So I'm just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? It was like last Thursday, I just redid everything. One thing my cousin told me to do was do like a radio edit. So I actually turned off all my tracks and just worked strictly on audio just to tell the story. And I finally got to the point. I watched a couple of videos on YouTube, some short documentaries, and I learned out of watching all of them is the three bases. What I learned is build, conflict, and resolution, and that's how I edited this one. And then after that, I turned my tracks back on. I added B-roll, I added the effects, I added the audio, and then I came up with my final cut, which was like, I would say like my fourth or fifth cut. What I learned from this, looking back, is things that I need to grow on is to be a better director. I was mostly a stronger editor than I am a director. And I feel like the more projects I do in the future, the more comfortable I would be taking charge and working on my time management, because I wish I did this in the summer. Like it didn't happen, and just taking time out to know, okay, this day I'm going to do this day I'm doing that. It was mostly like, okay, if I have free time, I would just edit. Or if I have free time, I'll go out and do B-roll. So just organizing my time, being a better director, because I had sparks of interest. I had, okay, this is what I want this to look like. This is what I want this to look like, but not the full picture at the end. So I wanted to focus on that more for the next time. Acute communication I got from my crewmates from feedback, and also my confidence, because a lot of times I was stuck is because I second guessed myself, and I felt like I didn't step up to the plate, and then that really took a toll on me. And then like when I stepped back and just like, okay, take a breather, understand what you're doing, that really helped me a lot. So in the future, I'm working on a longer project on this to tell again this full story of just how she became from a hairdresser to the store now. And I'm working on more projects with my crewmates. One feedback I got from Yendes is that we made such a great crew. My friend Janae, of course, she's in comedy, so she's good with the editing and After Effects. And Sal, my friend Sal, has a degree in anthropology. So we're working more on documentaries that have to do with people in the community. So I would like to thank them for helping me with this project. I would never got it done without them. I would like to thank City Tech, Professor Rioya, for just everything that you've done for me. Even with digital camera, like I got my camera because the person that you got last semester from Canon, I got my Canon TAI because of her. Professor Trevino for my editing skills, Miguel, who suggested the LED lights that I used. Also, I would like to thank my subject, Yendes, who is so kind and understanding through this whole process. And I would like to thank myself because there's so many times I wanted to quit and I didn't. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did it.
All right. Very nice.
I didn't put my headphones back in.
So you mentioned that you thought you were recording the interview, but you were not recording.
Yeah.
Then the camera battery died in the middle of an interview. Then there was a fire in your residence, and somebody in your crew broke her leg, and
yeah.
that could be a very good movie there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it sounds like you have a very good team, and
They
you
were
can
awesome.
continue with more stories, which is wonderful. And it's as the first episode, I thought this was a very interesting story to begin with, and I think you did a very good job, because what I saw at the beginning was good story, but it was not reassembled, and just the direction was not clear. But each week you came back and with some great improvement. So it's a very good culmination project, because I could actually see the improvement steadily.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
All the issues that you had to deal with.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions, comments? Anyone?
So for my next culmination project, I want to do a documentary on your experience during your documentary, because it sounds like you had a lot going on.
Yeah.
And thank you for representing the neighborhood. That's my neighborhood too.
Thank you. Oh.
Oh, good.
Thank
That's a
you,
good
Kiara.
connection.
Especially, I have a small business.
That's true.
Oh my, that's a good support.
But Kiana, are there any criteria for you to decide who to feature for the next episodes?
Oh, that's a good question. I was thinking about doing a different another business. There's a band that plays down the street from where I'm living right now that plays like every Saturday. So I was thinking about them also. So I kind of want to do like a variety of different things. I have to like set my mind up straight. So yeah, I'm not sure right now, but like I say about like a couple of months, I should have another project going.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Yeah, so because I believe that the vaccine will be available soon, I hope. So later next year, I'm sure there'll be many development in your community as well. So there'll be many subjects to choose from for the next episodes. So I look forward to them. Any more comments, thoughts? If not, thank you. Thank you very much, Kian.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Good. So the last person, this will be the last presenter of the day or the semester. And that's Mr. Patrick Ruffino from Emerging Media, who obviously has impressed
Come on, man,
many
get some excitement going, bro.
instructors. All right. Well, let's welcome Patrick.
Everyone, thank you for having me, and very nice work to other presenters. I really enjoyed their work. As for my culmination, I present to you. Let me share my screen first. A VR experience called Rising Threat. This idea came up to me, or I thought of in production practices. I still have the original sketches. Hopefully you can see it, but you probably won't. I have a small image here so you could get an idea. So the idea is basically it's a VR experience where it's aimed to educate and make aware of the impact of global warming, specifically in the upcoming 80 years. So using what I learned from City Tech, which is Unity, and a recent acquired VR headset, I made a immersive simulator, which I will hopefully show these changes happening. My roles was as a programmer, level designer, and researcher. Some of my skills that I learned was the knowledge of Unity game engine, knowledge of Steam VR, which I had to quickly adapt to. I'll speak on that later, and also researching information. One of my early inspirations was this sea level riser viewer. It basically demonstrates how the levels of ocean level rising will affect certain parts of the world. So this one was really interesting. This is in Fulton Street downtown. And just by, if the water increases, the ocean levels overall, if it increases by 6 feet, some of the streets will be flooded. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but who knows? Here's an idea of my work breakdown structure. So first, as I said before, I had an idea that I sketched. Even though it differs, I believe I still have the same concept or idea that I wanted to use for I first showed this right here. So basically, my first idea was like a live show where participants get to experience it as they walk through. So in the year 2019, which I first thought of the idea, there would be no water. People will walk through, and when they walk through the next room, it would be the same room, but there would be water on the floor. So overall, the participants get to see the level rising throughout the years in different rooms as they move along the performance or show. So I divided my work into 3 different, I guess you can say foundations: level design, programming, and troubleshooting. Level design and programming were the major concerns of mine, which I had to do a lot of work for. For the level design, I was pretty ambitious with my assets. First I thought, oh, I'm gonna learn Blender and create all the furniture. That didn't happen. But using Blender and the tutorials that I learned, I was able to create the house model using a real life house plan. So using my old experience of AutoCAD from like my first year of City Tech as an engineering major, I was familiar to that, and I actually just noticed that I actually used my AutoCAD skills, which I learned like back in like 2015. Researching which textures and materials I would like to use. I based it kind of similar to my house to get like a reference. Sounds and videos, which was really fun to look for and edit. The programming, which is like, I believe, my weakest point, but tutorials and actually reading the instructions, documentation, looking what other people have done really helped. The main culprit is SteamVR, and which events will happen, which sounds will play at certain times, getting the controllers to move with my Oculus Rift, what you're able to interact with, what would happen if you walk through here. And so here's the basic of my scheduling, which I'm happy to hit most of it. There was a part I believe in between October where my planned VRTK didn't work anymore, which is what I have to use to implement VR elements into my Unity project. It just didn't work anymore. So I was panicking, but also I used what I learned from project management from the Gray's Inn Hotel when I worked as a management. And I just looked at it in different ways. What can I do to assess what I have? What can I save? Troubleshoot what have I done, and see what other options are available, which is Steam VR. So it made it really easy to put all my models, assets, sounds, and all of that, and just move over to using Steam VR, which I also had to do a lot of research on. How will it affect the performance of the game? How will I use my Oculus with it? And then finally, the troubleshooting and adding the final touches, which was like the first week of November. And my major forms of communications were open lab posts where I would bi-weekly or weekly put some updates on it, email to my technical advisor, Hosni. And here are some materials and software that I use. So Unity, Blender that I learned the basics of, my computer, SteamVR, assets, Audacity, which I had to edit some sounds, VR and the VR headset. Here's a small, I guess, preview of what I'm going to show. So here's before anything happens, and here's after. And overall, hopefully this VR experience helps the players see what would happen in the upcoming years, even though it's a bit exaggerated, but I hope it enforces that idea of this rising threat.
Patrick, I have a question.
Mhm.
Where is this apartment?
First, I was thinking of placing it in New Orleans because that's where my brothers live, and they're also constantly talking about being flooded, and they're also planning on like just moving out of that state to somewhere even more inland, just to avoid that entire issue. And that's what I hopefully plan to work on after I graduate, just to overall continue working on this. So hopefully, give me a moment. I'll start the VR in a few.
Are we still here?
Patrick, are you in preparation or are you playing back the
Sorry,
VR but we don't see it? Or
just trying to share the game
okay,
itself.
okay.
Oh, I thought my internet froze up. Never mind then.
Yeah, take your time. No pressure. Yeah, Sam can wait all day long. So
Oh yes, we can.
all right.
Main intro. Sadly, you don't get to see the fade in. Give me a moment.
That's quite all right.
So here's the inside of the house. And here's
Wow.
like basic introduction. Hopefully you could hear it.
We don't hear any audio.
And the seas.
Yes, we do.
Monaco Forest, where the findings were released. Mark,
This was like a basic foreshadowing of what's about to happen.
Good morning. Well, this report concerns the world's oceans and frozen regions. In other words, the North and South Poles and mountaintops. Its general conclusions, they can't take it anymore. The consequences for humanity, severe.
So the basic idea was like a regular house, and you have different environmental sounds just happening around you. And just like simple interactions where you get to use the pillow and all, and just like play around in the meanwhile. Of course, I don't want them to be a mess, so I just teleport them back. And overall, the major concern was like the environment, because as a VR game, you can't put too much or it'll start just the performance hits a big bump. And thanks to Hosni, I was able to get the water shader in a good way, and which I like. So as the years pass by, you'll slowly see the water rising up to your house and all of that. And this is basically the foundation that I liked, that I achieved. And after this, I would like to improve even more. So that'll be like adding a mini game where you try to collect all your stuff at the end of the game before your entire house gets flooded. As the years pass by, you get to see the water inside your house. No one wants. Also, one of the major struggles I had was the water itself. How much it goes up and down. Trying to get that matched with the years as it passes. And one of the things that I appreciate that helping me teach me was the effects, how good the shadows looked, so it won't look too cartoonish, because first they look completely different. And here I made like a small clip video using Premiere, thanking the assets that I used, the creators, thanking the player and all. So overall, I'd like to improve this even more, and hopefully at the end I could, hopefully before January 1st, I get to participate in a itch.io competition, mostly just to get feedback from other players or anybody in general. And yes, I do plan to make a non-VR version. Just tech protection and all that stuff got in the way. But, there you go.
Wow.
So, yeah. One of the main struggles was getting room, because I was moving a lot, especially with the whole COVID stuff. So getting this thing a suitable place, the laptop that I have right now, it's a bit messed up. And especially the VRTK, where I had to like redo the whole project using a different way to use VR and all of that.
Wow. Terrific.
Wow. That's the end of the presentation. Can we talk now, or will there be more flooding?
We know how it ends.
Well, that's great. Wow. Wow. Well, remind us how much you knew before the semester, before you started working on this project. What did you learn exactly?
First of all, I remember Professor Chung's class, Intro to Unity, which was like the first time I touched the game engine. After that class, I just kept on my like spare time just playing around with it. Kanonj for like teaching me like the basics of game design, like what makes a game fun, what makes a game a game. The sketchbook that he always tells us to draw and stuff. So that was a habit that I learned from him, which I still use to this day.
Oh, the actual sketchbook.
So he's like, I guess you can't see it, but
Wow.
a next game that I have planned.
I like that MTech student is actually doing something analog, not digital. So that's actually wonderful, because it actually you use different parts of your brain to do this. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess Professor Alex for like teaching me like the basics of VR, because I was like last 2 semesters ago. Also VRTK from Professor Sam. So we made I believe it was called Nightmare at City Tech. It was like a horror game, VR game on Voorhees building. I was one of the programmers, so that was pretty fun to use. And that's where I got the idea where I wanted to make my culmination on VR. And then I just practiced on just random stuff on my own.
Did everything go smoothly as you planned, or did you run into any issues?
One of the bigger ones was that I mentioned before was the VRTK, where there's like, I think because the new Oculus came out, Oculus Quest 2, there's like an update. I updated, and when I went back to my Unity project, nothing worked. So I would hit play, it would like compile errors everywhere. My VR headset didn't work with Unity, so I asked Hosni what was like a good replacement. He said Steam VR, so I spent like 2 days familiarizing myself with it, and then just trying to use what I gathered and just put the VR stuff inside my project. and the Blender stuff, because I wasn't that used to it. So I spent like 29 hours just, just looking around. And then I got the house done, so that was pretty fun.
Oh, wow. All right. Maybe your fellow students from MTech have some questions, maybe. If not, anybody's entitled to ask questions or make comments.
I have a comment. I really liked what you did. I was just really surprised because I was like, oh, Jesus, like it's a VR game because not many people do that. We only learned it from our classes. So this is like the first time I'm actually seeing someone's culmination like be a VR project.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said something about Premiere. How did you put it into, into the VR? Like, what was the steps? How did you do that?
Premiere was like for like the ending credits, because that was my programming stuff was like kind of whack. So I just used something that I was familiar with. So I made a video of the credits in Premiere and all of that.
And then
Since
you export it to the program, the 3D program that you use, or whatever program you use.
Yeah, so I exported like the video credits into like a MP4, and then I just dropped that MP4 into like a video screen.
Okay.
So that's how you drop the news reports onto the flat screen in the room.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, that was terrific.
Sounds good.
Hey, what do you think your biggest challenge was, or obstacle you had to overcome?
One of the biggest obstacles was like coming up with the idea for the culmination, because I was overall panicking. First, I was thinking of making like a forest fire game where you play as an animal trying to escape the fires happening in a forest. But then I really liked the water rising more, so I had that. And then just I guess time management was a thing that I always lack, and it's one of the things that I always struggle as a procrastinator. So that was one of the habits that I wanted to get rid of overall. And I think I did okay with this project.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Yeah, I just want to say that, over the course of this semester, I think your scheduling was exemplary. I mean, uh, I think you did really well in sort of hitting your benchmarks, and you had some times when you really had to pivot and change direction, the business with your program and stuff like that. But I think that's one of the things that the whole idea of the culmination project is the organization, of sort of learning that organization. And I think that's something that you got from it, like how important that was. And you did very well. Just, um, you had good progress at each step of the way. There was stuff that I was kind of surprised. So I think students tend to push things off, and it always gets bunched into the latter half of the semester. But you did very well, so just complimenting you on that, and so everyone else who looks at it like, okay, this is one reason it worked.
Before the VR presentation, I've never seen anybody using a poster instead of a slideshow for the presentation. That was a surprise to me.
Oh, you had to use posters. I don't know.
Because I said no to many students to do it, but so I just thought I should mention it because we are recording it. Nobody will do it in the future, but you did well, very impressive. Okay. All right, Corey, you look very thoughtful. Maybe you have a comment.
Well, I think you did very well on the game. I understand what it's like to take on more than you can chew, like you said with the blender and wanting to do all the furniture. I ran into that problem a little earlier in the year, where I bit off a little bit more that I can chew. I had all these aspirations of I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then you realize, hey, this is a lot more work than I thought it was gonna be. So knowing how to pivot and knowing when to back away and say, hey, I'm gonna scale it down is an attribute that we all can take in.
Yeah, Hosni had to stop me in the last 2 weeks because I was planning on adding a bit more. But he suggested I just troubleshoot it even more. So that was a good idea.
Hopefully that's one of the skills I think we try to teach in Culmination. It's an important skill.
Yep. All right. Any other comments, thoughts, questions?
Awesomeness.
Okay.
Awesomeness.
Okay. All right. Sound good. Margaret, any thoughts?
I had no question. Just congratulations to all of you guys.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. So if there's no more questions or comments to Patrick, we should just congratulate Patrick for finishing your presentation. And let's see, we're gonna wrap up soon. Faculty, we should have a quick meeting, so please stay on the Zoom session after we say goodbye to the students. So all the presenters, congratulations, and you did well. And all the other students who took this class this semester and presented, congratulations. I mean, you are not here today, but like I mentioned before, throughout the semester, even if you're not part of the selected presentations, actually you could actually still make a great grade. You just want to have a mixture of different projects. So anyway, it was great to have you, and thank you very much for your time to present for the second time, and this time for the YouTube live session. And so we get to keep this, and hopefully, and with your permission, we would like to make it available publicly so that people outside the school or the department would learn what you learned, what you did. And thank you very much.
Public? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And we all survived this tough semester or tough year, 2020. And so we should just celebrate on that as well. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday. Thank you. Bye, students.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you around.
Oh, yes.
And we'll stop.
Keep a lookout for my email because I will email everybody for my complete episode 1.
Okay. Very good. Do it. Okay.
All right. Thank you.